Hello, lovely people. So I'm a day late. I'm sorry. So you probably get 2 videos today. But anyways, this is the end of week 15. So it's technically our last school week of the semester. So for this 8 weeks, we had our HESI exams this week instead of next week, because the first 8 weeks for level 2, we had our HESIs and finals same week. We had like 8 tests in the matter of like 7 days. Like, it was nuts. So but yeah, so we did on Monday we had our last farm exam, which from talking to quite a few people, it looks like not very many people did well on it. I think I've only heard of like 2 people that said they did okay, but for the most part, nobody did very good on it. It was a hard exam. And then on Tuesday, we had Farm HESI at 8 a.m. and then MedSearch HESI at 10:30. To my knowledge, a majority of the class did pass those. Whether they passed them really well or barely passed them, they passed them. I think I've only heard of 2 people that said they didn't pass at least the Farm HESI, but I think everybody passed MedSearch. At least I hope everybody did anyway. So Wednesday I didn't have class, but I did go up to the school to donate blood and then to get some documents from the nursing office. And then what else? That was it for Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we had our last clinical day. So that's, of course, turning in all your paperwork, presenting your teaching plan, everything pretty much that you need to do. And you also get your grade on the last day of your clinical. So that's pretty much how it goes from my experience, how it goes every semester or every block. So like for this semester we had 2 8 weeks, so I will call those your 8-week blocks. So that's typically how that goes. Friday I got done with all of my farm notes and my MedSearch notes. So I went through all of those 5 million chapters to get those in order for the exam next week. Just, I guess, like a little tidbit, because I know some of y'all are getting ready for finals. What I've been doing is, of course, you guys know I type up my notes. Now, if you're not a person that types, if you prefer to write, by all means do that, but I still do color coding. I color everything. So my drug will be in one color, adverse reactions in another color, contraindications in another color, and nursing interventions in another color. That helps me. And then after I done wrote all that down or typed all that up, I go back in. Well, I have an Apple Pen now, but if you choose to print it out or write things out, get a highlighter and another colored pen. I typically do red. So I will go ahead and, as I'm reading, if there's something that I feel like is going to be important or is for sure going to be on the test, I highlight that and I'll write some kind of little mental note next to it. As well as I always write out, especially like for the drugs, like for example with your hypertension drugs, your ACE inhibitors, all of those end in pril. So you got your captopril, your lisinopril, all of that. So next to ACE inhibitor, I will write pril really big, so I can associate the ACE inhibitors with the prils. So that way, if I see something talking about a pril on the final, I already know, okay, that's an ACE inhibitor. So what all are the contraindications for that? Like that type of thing. Same things with your ARBs, those are your sartans, and so on and so forth. So that's how I try to remember those. So a little example of what I was talking about is, you see how tetracyclines, they all end in cyclin, so I wrote cyclin next to it. Typically I would draw or try to draw something next to it to help me remember like a little bit about what it does. So for this one, the main thing that we need to remember is that it could damage teeth and bones in children. So I would probably try to draw a tooth and a bone or something like that next to it so I can remember tetracyclines, teeth and bones. That way, if I see that on the test, I already know tetracycline is a antibiotic that can damage teeth and bones in children under the age of 8. So this is pretty much what I was saying that I drawn. And then right here, you know, this one, they begin in RIFA, so I wrote RIFA next to it to just help me kind of remember. And like I said, I just used my Apple Pencil for it, and that's it. That's pretty much how I've been studying, along with if your professor does not make videos for you or audio recordings, because my pharm teacher, she did do some audio recordings on some of the chapters. What I have been doing is on my Word document that I have, it will read it to you. So a lot of times when I'm driving, I'm going back and forth between listening to my notes and listening to her chapters. So that way I'm getting all the information in, and even when I'm not really looking at a paper or not super paying attention, I'm still getting some of that information in. So like when I finish this video, I'm going to be listening to it again. While I'm at the gym, I'll be listening to it again. If you don't have it on Word, and if you choose to write yours out, your phone, I'm pretty sure, have a audio recorder. Record yourself reading your notes. And a lot of times, which I do prefer to record myself more than listening to it on Word, but sometimes that can be kind of time consuming. But the reason why I prefer it is because you're hearing it in your own voice and you're pronouncing it better, because sometimes the Word document thing is a computer, so it doesn't pronounce stuff right all the time. As well as you can add in your own little tidbits to it. So like how I said the ACE inhibitors are your prills. So I can be like, ACE inhibitors, prills, sildenafil, captopril, you know, like I can say what I want to say whenever I want to. So that's definitely an option. Yeah, that's pretty much how I study. For my med-surg, I do the same thing. The only difference is I don't really have an audio for that, and I just go through and like highlight and stuff and try to remember that stuff, because I don't really have any kind of audio for her. But I'm doing pretty good in med-surg. I think when I did my average, I had like an 87 in there right now. So I still have an opportunity to get an A, which I'm quite excited about. So yeah, so that test is on Monday, and then pharm is on Tuesday. But that was pretty much it for this week. I did just want to kind of include that little how I study a little bit tidbit in there, and I will try to make a more detailed video later because yeah, because I'm just trying to make this video kind of short. I don't want to make it too long. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all we did for this week. If you guys have any questions or, you know, want to know anything, let me know and I'll try to include it in my video next week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.